Breaking news! We just got the latest news ahead of our upcoming matchup, and there's a lot to discuss here. If you're a die-hard fan and don't want to be left out, hit that like button and join our fan community. Now for the big news about this Sunday's game against the Minnesota Vikings. It's shaping up to be a crucial matchup for us, and you definitely want to stay on top of it. So, let's get right to it. We just got the latest injury report from Week 7, and things are looking a little worrisome as we head into Sunday. The big headline? Carlton Davis, our star cornerback, missed his second straight day of practice with a quadriceps injury. Davis left the Week 6 game against the Cowboys, but he had cleared concussion protocol and could have returned if the game hadn't already gotten out of hand. The quadriceps issue? That's new, and not what we wanted to hear. If Davis can't go, we're looking at Kindle Vildor stepping in to fill those shoes, which, no offense to Vildor, isn't the ideal scenario for us Lions fans. Vildor isn't exactly the caliber of cornerback we need to face a team like the Vikings, especially with Justin Jefferson on the other side of the field. There's also rookie Ennis Rakestraw, who could see more action, but putting a rookie against one of the game's best receivers is a tall order. Head coach Dan Campbell initially said he was optimistic about Davis playing, but he also hinted that there's a small chance he won't be ready for Sunday. We'll likely get a clearer picture after Friday's press conference, but for now, things are up in the air. And it doesn't stop there. Kevin Zeitler, our reliable right guard, returned to practice after a day off on Wednesday, but he's now come back with a groin injury. Zeitler has been solid for us this season, and any potential setback here could cause some real issues on the offensive line. Hopefully this is just a minor issue and nothing serious, but we'll need to keep an eye on his status for the rest of the week. Now for some good news. Frank Ragnow is back in practice after a Veterans Day off, so we can breathe a little easier knowing our center will be there on Sunday. Dan Skipper, who missed practice on Wednesday, was also back on the field today, so he's on track to be available. We'll have to see if he can put together another full practice on Friday, but things are looking up for him. Brian Branch, our dynamic young safety, is also back in full practice after being limited earlier in the week due to a knee issue. Having Branch out there is huge for us, especially considering the depth and versatility he brings to the secondary. So it looks like on that front at least, we'll be ready to go. Christian Mahogany, still recovering from an illness, was also a full participant, and he has about 11 days left in the 21-day window to be added to the active roster. Coaches are keeping a close eye on his development, but it's good to see him getting closer to full speed. But let's not forget the Vikings. They have their own injury concerns to deal with. Linebacker Blake Cashman is expected to miss a game due to a toe injury, and cornerback Akaleb Evans is also missing practice with a hip issue. On a more positive note for Minnesota, running back Aaron Jones, who was nursing a hamstring injury, has been upgraded to limited practice, and their big-name tight end, T.J. Hawkinson, remains in the injury evaluation window while recovering from a knee injury. So while they have their issues, the Vikings are getting some of their key players back at the right time. Now, what does all this mean for us Lions fans? Well, there's no hiding it. Davis out would be a tough blow, especially against a pass-heavy team like Minnesota. But we've shown this season that we're resilient, and with guys like Branch, Ragnow, and Skipper moving in the right direction, we still have a strong team to put out there on Sunday. How do you feel about our chances if Carlton Davis can't go? And do you think our offensive line will be able to hold its own if Zeitler is limited? Let me know what you think in the comments. We've got some great information on how Jameson Williams is impacting opposing defenses, and trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one. So let's get right to it. Offensive coordinator Ben Johnson has noticed something interesting lately. Defenses are changing the way they approach us, all because of Jameson Williams' speed and big play ability. This guy has changed the game, and defenses simply don't want to give him space because they know if they do, he'll make them pay. Johnson said it best, they're not as fast as him, it's as simple as that. Williams has now had 4 games with at least 75 receiving yards in just 5 weeks. Let that sink in for a second. He's also tied for the NFL lead with 3 receptions of 50-plus yards. And here's a fun stat for you. He's averaging 22.8 yards per reception, which is second in the entire league. His presence is making life tough for defenses, and we're seeing it every game. Take last week's game against Dallas, for example. Early on, they were playing 2 tall safeties to try to limit Williams. But guess what? Our running game took over, and the defense had to adjust. The moment they did, Williams had some great man-to-man plays, and we all know what happens next: big plays, chunk yards, and touchdowns. It's all about playing the game, waiting for defenses to give him an opening, and when they do, he's ready to take full advantage. Ben Johnson is loving this dynamic, and who wouldn't? With our solid offensive line, a powerful running game, and weapons like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, and Tim Patrick in the passing game, defenses really can't focus on just one player. The addition of a deep threat like Williams just makes us that much harder to stop. Williams himself? He's not too concerned with what defenses are trying to do. When asked about it, he said, "We just scored 40 points in a row." No matter what type of coverage they throw at him, he's confident the Lions will still find a way to light up the scoreboard. He's also been spending more time after practice working on those deep routes with Jared Goff. It's getting to the point where if he sees a single coverage and Goff has time, he expects a big play or touchdown every time. And let's be honest, Lions fans, having a deep threat like Williams is exactly what we needed to take this offense to the next level. His ability to stretch the field opens up a lot of opportunities for everyone else on the team, and it's a big reason why our offense is one of the most dangerous in the league this year. So, what do you think? How big of an impact do you think Jameson Williams has had on this offense? Are you as excited as I am to see what he does next? Now, if you watched the game, you probably noticed how many trick plays we pulled out of the hat. A reverse flea flick? A lateral to Penei Sewell? And a pass to Taylor Decker? Yep, we went all in. But here's the thing, some people wondered if we were overdoing it a bit. I mean, the lateral to Sewell happened when we were already up 37-9 late in the third quarter. So why use a play like that when the game is basically already in the bag? Well, Ben Johnson isn't too worried about that. He said they only call these plays when they feel like the time is right. They're not just trying to look fancy out there. Each trick play is carefully designed, and the team waits for the perfect situation to use it. Johnson also mentioned that he's not a fan of repeating the same plays, so if you see one, you know it's part of a bigger plan. And here's the best part, Johnson isn't at all worried about wasting these plays or running out of trick plays. In fact, he believes that recording these plays only helps prepare for future plays. His bag of tricks? Let's just say it's deep. So if you think the Lions unloaded everything they had against Dallas, you might want to think again. Johnson has a lot more in store. What do you think, Lions fans? Do you like seeing the creativity in our offense, or do you think we should save some of these plays for more difficult times? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And hey, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any Lions action. Go Lions!